45 years old, multiple injuries, no Grand Slam win in over a decade, and yet Venus Williams is back. Why? When Venus accepted a wild card to play at the 2025 Miami Open, the tennis world collectively blinked in disbelief. Most assumed she was quietly retired. Her last singles win? 2 years ago. Her ranking, unlisted. Her body, battle-worn. And yet, the 7-time Grand Slam champion stepped back onto the court, not as a legend attending a farewell ceremony, but as a competitor. This wasn't a farewell tour. It was a fight. What makes this so shocking is that Venus didn't need to come back. Her legacy was already untouchable. She's an icon, a pioneer, someone whose name sits comfortably beside Serena, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. So why risk tarnishing that image? Some say she missed the game. Others think she's chasing a last Olympic dream. But here's a wilder theory. Maybe Venus is challenging how we view athletes and age. In a world that tells women over 40 to gracefully exit, Venus just walked back into the arena, bruised, doubted, and unapologetic. And tennis wasn't ready. Fans on social media were divided. Some cheered, calling it inspirational. Others winced, calling it unnecessary. One comment said, "I love Venus, but this comeback feels like watching MJ on the Wizards." Painful. That's the controversy. Does Venus have the right to write her own ending? Or is she rewriting something that was already perfect? And most importantly, what does she want? Because this isn't just about forehands and fitness. This is about how a legend chooses to say goodbye. Or refuses to. So let's dive deep, not just into the comeback, but into the woman, the warrior, the myth that is Venus Williams, and ask the question the tennis world is whispering. Is this her final chapter? Or just a new beginning? Before Serena ruled the court, there was Venus. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Venus wasn't just winning matches, she was changing the sport. She played with power, grace, and defiance. She was the first to bring that aggressive baseline game that Serena would later perfect. But more than that, she fought for the sport itself. Equal prize money at Wimbledon, Venus helped make that happen. Fashion on the court, Venus broke boundaries, respect for black women in tennis. She carved that path. With silence, class, and a backhand that stung, she became world number one. Won in 2002, won 5 Wimbledons, played in 4 Olympic Games, beat her sister in Grand Slam finals, and through it all, she handled media pressure with a calm that often went misunderstood. Venus didn't scream, she stared you down. Her career wasn't just about trophies, it was about presence. She made it normal to see black excellence in a sport that wasn't built for her. And when Sjogren's syndrome threatened her career in 2011, a chronic illness that sapped her strength and energy, she didn't retire. She adapted. Who else does that? While most players fade after 30, Venus fought back in her mid-30s. In 2017, at age 37, she reached 2 Grand Slam finals. That year, she ended the season as world number 5. Think about that. Most players are coaching or commentating at that age. She was still taking names. So when people call her comeback at 45 sad or unnecessary, maybe they've forgotten who Venus is. She's been doubted before, and each time she rewrote the narrative, but this time things feel different. The speed is down, the movement's slower, the game has evolved, and the young guns, they're fearless. Is legacy enough to survive in today's brutal athletic game? That's what makes this comeback so fascinating. We're not watching a champion in her prime, we're watching a legend fight for one last spark. And maybe that's what makes it even more powerful. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Venus's body. At 45, no one expects peak athleticism, but with Venus, the decline has been visible and painful. Knee injuries, hip issues, chronic fatigue. The last few years have been more about recovery than training. In 2023, she played just 7 matches and lost 6 of them. At Wimbledon, she slipped in the opening round, injuring her knee. That image, Venus grimacing on the grass, fighting tears, went viral. People assumed it was over. But here's the thing. Injuries haven't broken her. They've become part of her narrative. Venus has always pushed her body beyond limits. She's changed her serve motion multiple times. She's adjusted her court positioning. She's tried unconventional training, diets, therapy, all to keep playing. She's not delusional. She knows her body isn't what it was. In interviews, she's brutally honest. It's not about winning anymore. It's about doing what I love. That statement alone divided fans. Some respect it. The idea that an athlete should retire when they want, not when the world demands it. Others think it's selfish, and that she's taking wild cards from younger players or worse, tainting her own legacy. It's a tricky line, because unlike Serena, who retired with a farewell tour and tears, Venus is taking the slow fade. No announcements, no documentaries, just appearances. And each time her movement is a little more restricted, her serve a little slower, her rallies a little shorter, so why is she still doing it? Some speculate that she's preparing for one final Olympic doubles run with Serena. Others think she's waiting for the perfect venue to say goodbye. And then there are those who believe, truly, that Venus doesn't care about the optics. She just wants to play. But what does the game owe her? And what does she owe the game? Is showing up in her 40s bravery or stubbornness? That's the tension. And it's why this story keeps going viral. We're not just watching tennis, we're watching the human body negotiate with ambition, and maybe that's more compelling than any Grand Slam trophy. If you scroll through social media after a Venus match in 2025, the responses aren't simple. You'll see comments like, "She's an inspiration to women everywhere." Let it go, Venus. Why do people hate on legends who just want to play? This is painful to watch. She deserves better. The fan base is divided, sharply. Gen Z tennis fans who grew up watching Gaff or Swiatek often don't understand the reverence for Venus. To them, she's not a contender. She's a wild card, often losing in straight sets. They see her as a ghost of the past, not part of the current tennis conversation, but older fans, and especially women, see something else. They see resilience, they see defiance, they see someone who refuses to disappear. And in a sports world obsessed with youth, maybe that's exactly what we need. Sports media too is conflicted. Some headlines celebrate her bravery, others treat her matches like obituaries. Even commentators seem unsure. They lower their voices when she plays, like they're narrating the final act of a legend. That tension is real, because Venus isn't playing for legacy, she's playing for herself. And not everyone is okay with that. What's more interesting is how her peers respond. Players like Coco Gauff speak about her with deep respect. Naomi Osaka has said Venus inspired her to pick up a racket. Even Djokovic, when asked about her return, simply said, "She doesn't need to explain anything to anyone." So maybe the controversy isn't about Venus, maybe it's about us. Alright, are we uncomfortable watching a champion lose? Do we only celebrate athletes when they're perfect? Do we even know how to let legends age on their own terms? This is what makes Venus's comeback so emotionally complex. It's not clean, it's not cinematic, it's messy, it's human, and maybe that's the point. Let me be honest, I didn't know how to feel about this comeback at first. Part of me wanted to protect Venus's legacy. I didn't want to see her lose 6-0, 6-1 to a 19-year-old. I didn't want Twitter to clown her. I didn't want her to become the story of decline. But then I watched her play, and it clicked. She doesn't care about what we want. She never did. This isn't about ranking points. This isn't about some farewell documentary. This is about showing up, even when the world tells you not to. And honestly, that's powerful. Venus isn't chasing trophies, she's chasing something deeper, ownership over her own story. She's telling the sports world that she'll leave when she's ready, not when we clap, cry, or criticize. That's rare. Most legends leave with a curated goodbye. Venus is choosing the harder road, staying, Competing, losing, learning, existing, still here. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, good. It should. Because her story isn't over yet. And if we're lucky, we'll get to watch her write the ending on her own terms. So now the question shifts to you. Was Venus right to return? Should legends retire gracefully, or fight till the very end? Is she inspiring? Or is this legacy damage in real time? This story is bigger than wins and losses. It's about identity, control, age, and the right to choose when to walk away. Venus Williams has earned the right to be complicated, to be confusing, to be criticized, and celebrated at the same time. But one thing is clear. She's not here for our closure. She's here for her ending. And that's what makes her a legend. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you want Venus to keep going? Or should this be her final chapter? Let's talk.